The ability to communicate is fundamental to a basic quality of life.
I can talk on the phone.
I like to listen to hip-hop and R&B.
Texting and emailing keeps me in contact with my friends who hang out all over the country.
The ACE centres support children, young people and adults who face challenges with communication at home, at school and in the wider community.
We provide services for children and young people and adults who have physical communication disabilities.
And we're about finding the appropriate technology that matches their needs, that enables them to engage in education, live their lives to the full and do those sorts of things.
And typically those services are assessments, training, advice and information, some consultancy, research and development in how technology can make a difference to their lives.
We are trying to establish around the country a number of teams that can support the children locally, and we can do this by travelling out to see them. We can do it by planning assessments with their teams and maybe doing the planning here, but the teams carry out the assessments locally. We can support them by video conferencing, and they can then link up with us here.
Each individual's assessment is a highly focused look at their specific circumstances and preferences. The ACE Centre's interdisciplinary teams of teachers and therapists work with individuals, parents and support staff to reach a shared conclusion. 3-year-old Jake is at the start of his journey and is developing his eye-pointing skills and use of a visual language.
Oh, they've been very big help, yeah, because all Jake's equipment was recommended to Jake in April, so took us some time to actually purchase them, but yeah, made a massive difference to Jake's life.
He knows that this is how it will happen, so do you want...
The government's got a new strategy, Every Child Matters, and they're very keen that multi-agency working comes into place, because what sometimes happens with our children is they'll see one person one week and have to give a lot of information, another person another week and give exactly the same information again. And the idea is that if you can get a number of professionals to work with a child at one time, A, the process is much less daunting to the child, and B, the overall plan that you come up with is better integrated and things will work better in the long term for that child.
I mean, I'll be honest that I came to ACE with saying, we've got a problem, can you help us? And in lots of ways, they have respected our vulnerability, if you like. So we have tended now to use ACE as an organisation which gives support, which helps us to develop our way forward, in lots of ways to be a critical friend.
With ever-changing technology and innovations in communication aids, it is perhaps reassuring to know that the ACE centres can provide short-term loans of equipment, all part of the assessment process and finding just the right solution to each person's needs.
I'm Sam and I'm the technician here. And one of my jobs is to look after the equipment in the ACE loan library. We have things from simple switches, special keyboards and special joysticks where you can adjust the speed of the mouse pointer and special type of tops.
The ACE centres are continually gathering, evaluating and disseminating essential information on assistive technology. Regular network days provide just such a forum.
If you've got any questions that you'd like to say, just chip in as I'm going.
The reason why we're involved in this European project is because we work with people with disabilities, and we're working in partnership with people who make this kind of technology, and sometimes the universities are developing this sort of thing, sometimes it's manufacturers, and what we're doing is telling them all of the ways that people with disabilities would want to make things happen. And the kinds of ways you can make things happen, one way is to blink your eye, another way is to actually look at something. If it's a letter on a screen, if you look at that for say a second, then it'll select it. Or if you want to press, if you're able to press a switch while you're looking, different ways of choosing, and that's what we're about, trying to make sure that this technology can meet the needs of as wide a group of people as possible. If I go to the colour blue, and then I blink, then I've got my blue, and what I'm going to do is I'm now on the water just by the duck, and now blink again, and then I can colour it blue.
Quiet, friendly. The ACE Centre is excellent at helping disabled people to talk, and they have amazing suggestions, including their staff are quite friendly.
We have such a mix of staff and such a mix of skills here that inevitably a lot of information is generated, which we feel would be of great benefit to the international AAC community. And a lot of the stuff we like to make publicly available by putting on our website. For example, you see here the communication aids database, which contains details of many communication aids that are available in the UK. Because we're an independent centre, we're able to produce this kind of information without any bias towards any particular manufacturer.
Got something different attached to them. Yeah. So the bathroom one's got the chain, the physio one, I should have brought a section, shouldn't I? The physio one has got a hook, like a
Basically, this is a day for Game On, which is one of our projects, which is all about making games more accessible for people with disabilities. And what we've done is we've got a whole lot of games that we've been reviewing in terms of their accessibility. So we're looking at what kind of controls you use, how fast you need to be, and we're feeding all of that information onto a web page.
Right, well, the children are playing on different computers and they're trying out different games. Tom, my son, for example, is playing with the animals and things, and I think it's great for them.
Which one what would you like to do?
I think the real benefit is that it gets the environment where there's lots of games, lots of people doing things, so it's an encouragement for him, but it also gets to try out different pieces of equipment, which is not so, it's as good for him as it is for us, because we don't end up buying things that we end up just shelving.
The quest for better, more intuitive software continues. Here we can see Paul using a specially adapted version of the Dasher software package. A camera tracks the movement of the dot on his forehead. This allows him to navigate through the predictive sentence construction software, enabling him to talk to his friends via email.
Quickly. Not really, I seem to pick it up quite quickly.
Through working in partnership with a variety of agencies, including local authorities, the ACE centres are making a real difference to the lives of people by finding appropriate ways for them to write, communicate and control technology. The ACE centres are all about giving people a voice.
How? You?
I'm all right, Shelley. How are you doing?
ACE has made it worth my while, because what I am seeing in Northamptonshire is kids developing their communication skills, kids getting access to the curriculum in a much better way, kids being able to shine out.
He went to a group in the summer that he's been to every year for a lot of years, and everybody was very interested in this machine and wanted to play with it and all the rest, and that created a bit of interest around Greg. And then when they saw him use it and actually have a voice, it seemed to make him more of a personality, rather than a very passive person with autism who might just be in the corner all the time. It gave him his voice.
We start off with somebody who finds it very difficult to do anything. Kid comes in, and you can actually fit them up with something that means that they can really get on with their life and show their capabilities.
And sometimes the results can be quite astounding. Although the Access Maths programme was designed by the ACE centres to enable users to solve mathematical and geometric problems, one individual has used it to create these amazing pictures, entirely from memory.
Communication is such a basic right for people. What people don't think about is what it's like not to be able to speak.
The people we meet are amazing. I never lose sight of the value of and the inspiration of the people we meet.
My job would just be so much more difficult if I hadn't got the backup of somebody like Ace. And lastly, they're all a super friendly lot, so...